Hi everyone, this is Pocket Planes and this is my money making strategy. This is actually the second time I played this game. The first time I played it I'll get the cursor off, some years ago when Nicola discovered it actually. I've lost that progress, but this time around we started playing again. And I came up with an idea of how to make money. If you don't know the game, the basic premise is that you deliver passengers and cargo from around the world. Well, one of the things that's very interesting about this map, because you would think it's like, oh, hang on a minute, the world is round. So, therefore, if we go to a left-hand airport, we can wrap around to the right. Well, that's actually not the case. That's not the case. That's not the way this game works. So actually, one of the most profitable routes is from here in Honolulu. I'm not a VIP, by the way, so I don't have the aircraft carriers. Honolulu, all the way out to, I would say, Sydney, Melbourne, because these are class 2s. USS HMS. These are class 1s. The black ones are class 1s. The blues are class 2s. And the reds are class 3s. Now, in my playthrough, I have all the class 3 airports unlocked. So if we have a look at my statistics, I have 32 airports of 115 open. Now, 115 is related to my level. So I'm level 55. I started the strategy that I am on probably, I don't know, no more than level 50. Okay, so I'd ground my way to level 50 and then decided on a money-making strategy. Or I came across something. I think this is the most important point. I came across something in the game and I was like, hang on a minute, that's something really, really important. So I suppose let's show you what that is. And that is that during the game you collect coins and bucks. So let's just take this plane, for example, which is landed at London. It is due to fly to, I don't know where. Let's have a look. It is, let's switch over to the Starless for this one. So it is due to fly over to well, it's a long way down. Cairo. Oh, there we go. Right, so it's now fully loaded to Cairo. Right, and you can pick up cargo and passengers for coins. And if you're very lucky, then you can get some bucks. And bucks are used to buy plane parts, for example. But in this case, my strategy is using those bucks to make money. Now, initially, you need bucks. You need bucks to buy. Let's just flip for a minute. You need bucks to buy plane parts in order to upgrade your plane fleet. But I've got a fleet of Cyclones, Cloudliners. These are the top planes that you can get. I use Cyclone M's. I think they're actually the most optimal plane in the game. And then Cloudliners, they're slightly imbalanced because they are 12 passengers and only 5 cargo. Whereas if we look at a Cyclone, a Cyclone is 6 passengers and 6 cargo, so they're a 50-50 split, and they're actually very, very useful for other aspects of the game. But the most profitable are the Cloudliners, and in fact, it's very difficult to understand how to make Cloudliners profitable unless you use this strategy. And that's the key point. This strategy is the key point to making Cloudliners profitable. Right, so first things first, let's get that plane off to Cairo, shall we? So that one, go over to Cairo, which is over there. Nice change in this update is that the The destination airports now flash green. They didn't. They just used to flash, but now they actually flash green. So that's very nice. Okay, all right. That's loud. No thanks. Oh my god! I want to get out of there. Okay, well I don't want that noise. Better. Right. So, strategy. We're sending that plane over from London. In fact, that's the strategy, right? So let's actually cover that, shall we? The strategy, or the most obvious way to run this, is over your most profitable routes, which is all the way on the left-hand side of the map. So Honolulu, all the way over to Sydney and Melbourne. And that takes about an hour in each way with one of those plane types that I've mentioned. So 1 hour each way, you will make an amount of money. And it's a very good amount of money. If we look at one of the stats that I've got, you can make, there we go, most profitable flight, 38,000. There's a trick to doing that. That is, you wouldn't make that amount of profit usually. It's normally the profit for a Cloudliner M flying over that sort of distance, all the way from left to right of the map, is around about 15,000 coins. Daily, I make, on average, around 1.5 million coins if I'm playing the game solidly. Okay, airline value, I think, is a product of the amount of money you've got and the value of your planes. I don't actually know exactly. Even this was broken until very recently, so who knows? But I think this is more accurate now. But my strategy is going to make you incredibly rich. And I'll tell you why. It's about the acquisition of bucks. These things down here. Okay, so you can pick up bucks and transfer bucks. Now, that doesn't give you coins. So you will make a profit loss from one destination to another. So if we look at the next plane, CLC 01 from Beijing. Let's flip out here and go to the cursor. This plane is picking up bucks where it can. I tend to pick up bucks that are 3 or above, so I want that 4. I didn't see what that was. It was a person, so it's a passenger. Oh, this is a cargo plane, so it can't pick up a passenger anyway. Right, so fine. So that's all I can do with that. I don't pick up 1s and 2s. There's a very good reason for that. I found that my destination airport was full. And so I now don't pick up 1s and 2s. I think there is something within an algorithm as well that also, if you keep on picking up 1s, it will keep giving you 1s. So by not picking those up, I'm thinking that it makes it go towards the higher numbers. I don't know precisely. But if you want to pick up 1s and 2s, this strategy makes these extremely valuable, and I'll tell you why in due course. So, where are we? We're picking up here. We're loading. So we're loading here for London. And this is the strategy in action. London and Paris. Now the reason is because we're at a remote airport, we can't get an overall bonus for a single type load. If you, when you saw when we went to Cairo, if you get a single load going to one destination, then you get a 25% boost. But we're picking up bucks at the remote destination and we're taking those back to London. That's the core of the strategy. Go back to the map. London and Paris are smack in the middle of the map. The map doesn't wrap. So therefore, every single airport is roughly equidistant from London and Paris. So we can use London and Paris as the centre of our strategy. It's hub and spoke. And if you've played Pocket Planes and you've looked at the forums, people will talk about hub and spoke strategies. This is the ultimate hub and spoke. London. And every single Class 3 airport outside of London is a spoke. With the exception of Paris. So Paris is, in this case, sacrificial. We'll cover that in a minute. So, we bring all of our bucks back to London. And this is where we store all of these bucks. We fly planes into London, we load up as much as we can, and we go out to the spokes, every other airport, but not Paris, with a full load of a single type. Now, the 25% bonus for having a single load will apply to every single bucks entry. So for a 1 bucks, for example, a 25% increase actually equates to a 50% increase, and instead of 1 you get 2. So therefore it is, at this stage in my strategy, it is worth picking up the 1 bucks. But I find with 60 layovers that London will be overrun with layovers, and therefore I want to keep that number under the 60. So here's why it's lucrative. For every single bucks you collect, and I found this quite by accident, you can sell them for 500 coins. Okay, so that means that essentially 1 bucks has a 500 coin value. But if we increase that number of bucks, the number of coins per bucks increases. And we're going up, 501, and we get 4 bucks, and then we're 502. Okay, so how far does this go? Well, the answer is, if we flip the other way, that with the amount of bucks I've got, is that each buck, is currently worth 30,212 coins per bucks. That means that the 59,424 bucks that I've currently got stored is worth 1.795 billion coins. To put this in perspective, for my entire time playing the game, I have earned 49 million coins. No more than. I have 28 plane slots open. I have 28 plane slots open. In fact, I can show this. So I'm up to slot 28. And I have in the game 4.2 million. Okay, so 4.2 million. And slot 28 means that I have earned 48.6 million coins in all of my time playing the game. Okay, my bucks value, go back to that again just to reinforce this, is worth 1,795 million, 1.795 billion coins. So, and I started this strategy around about the beginning of November. It is now the 28th of November. So in 28 days, I've managed to accrue 59,000 bucks with my planes, and that has a monetary value of 1.795 billion. The ultimate aim, so what's the maximum? Okay, now this was actually fixed in a recent release. I discovered this quite by accident. The maximum is actually 65,000 bucks. And at 65,000 bucks, the monetary value per bucks will be worth 33,000 coins per bucks. So at that point, 65,000 bucks, it was 2.144 billion. Where's the spreadsheet again? Bucks. There we go. 2.145 billion. I actually worked this out already. I worked out that this is linear. It's not linear. It is actually a curve. So I don't know how we can blow that up, can we? Anyway, so it's a curve that the more bucks you earn, the more their value actually increases. Okay, so as your coins tend towards 65,000, their value increases up to a maximum of 2.145 billion. So you really want to be aiming for that 65,000 bucks. Once you reach that 65,000 bucks, your coin value is 2.145 billion, and you sell that, and then you're incredibly wealthy. Are you wealthy forever? I think the answer is probably not. If we look at how much these slots cost, because each slot that you buy, each plane slot, costs more than the previous one. So I'm currently at this point, the next slot for me is 9.792 million coins, and then the one after that is 11, and then 13, and then 15, and we can see this running total as we go. So even my 2.145 billion, if I manage to get it, is going to bring me around about there. Okay, bearing in mind that I've earned 49 million coins so far, I'm probably, if I spend every single penny I've got, I'll be able to unlock plane slots up to 56, 57 tops. But that means I'll be able to have 20 Cyclones, 10 Cloudliners, 10 Maple X10 Pros out, and I'll have like a full fleet of really good planes. That's the aim of my game, and I think this is the ultimate money-making strategy. I'm presently at $59,447, and I want to get to 65,000. Let's not that. Right. Let's continue with the strategy. Why is that doing that? Oh my god. Right. So, free. What's free? I'll have that. Thank you very much. But where I'm heading, of course, is that I need to be getting these planes out. So how do you do this? You can start this with any number of planes, and I think with any number of airports. I think the key point is you need to be running out hub and spoke, and you want to gradually get to the point where you've got all of the Class 3 airports open. London and Paris are pivotal, but you can do it with either of them. You don't need both, right? And I'll show you how I use both. So. With any luck, I will show you how I use both. Let's move the cursor off, and then it's much easier if I do this on the phone. And then we've got the screen capturing. So here's an example, right? So I fly planes back to Paris. I fly a plane back to Paris. I look at the bucks. I pick up all bucks that are available at Paris, regardless, because I've offloaded some Paris. So I've got some space. And then I pick up any London passengers or cargo, and then I jump to London. Okay, so that's off. Right, Jakarta. Here we are at Jakarta. This has just landed. It's got nothing in it, so I'm going to look for any bucks that are above 2, and then I want to fill up to London and Paris. London, Paris, and then move on. Next one, Sao Paulo. Okay, any bucks that are above 2. I don't want 1s and 2s presently. If you think about it, $1, when I send that out, is going to be worth 60,000 coins. So even 1s are worthwhile. But there's a reason for doing this, right? I want the plane journeys to remain profitable. And the only way to remain profitable is that you need to be earning some coins on each of your trips, okay? So by ignoring the 1s and 2s, the planes are slightly more profitable, you get less bucks. So they sort of balance themselves out. This is just by observation. I've got no mathematics around that, just by observation. So Paris, and we didn't see London, and I can't always spot these, by the way. I don't know if it's something to do with my eyes or my brain, but I can't always spot Paris and London, but there we go. Okay, Paris and London, then we move on. Jobs have refreshed. It takes me more than 5 minutes to get to the bottom of the list, so I'll just continue and then lap around. So Istanbul, I want the 3. I don't want the 1 and 2. I want... Where are you? London and Paris, and this is just to almost give me the fuel to go back to London and Paris, okay, to make them semi-profitable at least. All right, so okay, there's only one there that's worth picking up for me. I want London. I want Paris. Oh, of course, if you see London and Paris in a box, regardless of value, always pick those up because you're going to go there anyway. Right. Shenyang is idle. That's a 2, so I won't be picking that up. London. Paris. And the reason for doing London and Paris, they're really, really close together, and it means that you fill the plane faster. So you're out at your spoke your spoke destination, or the hub. You're at your spoke destination. You're trying to load the plane up as quickly as possible and get back to London so that you can come and pick up more bucks. Okay, Paris. This one's come back to Paris. We're going to check if there's anything else to pick up. There isn't. And then are there any Londons to pick up? And there aren't. And I'm not going to hang around. I'm just going to go straight back to London. Okay, so that's now back. Going back. Cairo. Next plane. Cairo. Is there anything to pick up? Yes, there's a 4. And then I want London and Paris. Now that was the one we sent out when we were on this video. So London and Paris, and there's a 2 there as well. That's nice. Okay, now we're not going to get a multiplier for that because we won't be getting a full load back to Paris. Yeah, hang on, I missed Tokyo there. Right, Tokyo, Kinshasa, and Istanbul, London, Paris. Next one, Sim 13. We're at London with this one, right? So, and it's got 1 on it. So this is one that's just landed at London. If it's just landed, then the first thing to do is unload. And then you want to load up with something. Start to load up with going to a location. The way I do this for the cyclones, I'll start at the bottom of the range. For the cloudliners, I start at the top of the range. It really doesn't matter how you do this. Just use your own judgment. In this case there, I'm going to go to Kinshasa. So I'm going to start loading this plane for Kinshasa. And we've got 4 cargo and 6 passengers already. Last one, CLM03. So that's a Cloudliner number 3. This is at London. Did that just land? If it just landed, then I need to empty it. Now for the Cloudliners, I start at the top of the list because these are more profitable. They're longer runs. They tend to be more profitable. 3 or above. I'm going to go to Seoul. So I'll pick up that load, and I need 17 to fill this up, so it's going to be quite a while. But they're going to be more profitable with the passengers. So we make some money going out. We don't make a lot of money coming back. That's the point. All right, I suppose we could end up depositing some more planes, couldn't we? I've got some here. 447 hangar. Let me deploy another Cyclone. Where am I up to? Number 18 flight. It's going to cost me 32 bucks. I'm going to stick it there in London. And same thing. So load up. Oh. I'm going to start at the other end. Empty that. I want a 3. Rio de Janeiro. So I'm loading that one to Rio de Janeiro. Fine. Let's go to the back. Go to the top. And here we go. So where are we? Wait for the message to go off the top. We're at Beijing, 17 of 12, and this is a cargo plane. I need to see if there are any bucks to pick up, and there are. There's a 4. There's a 4. That's brought us up to 14. And then I need Paris and London. Okay, so London and then Paris. And there's nothing else we can lay on at the moment. Nothing else we can load up. So we'll have to skip that plane and then go on to the next one. That's Beijing, Seoul. Similar thing. So at Seoul, we'll see if there's anybody we can load up with. There isn't. And we're going to go now down to London and Paris. We're looking for that 66 and we didn't get it. So, okay, Simo 3 that was. Next one is a passenger plane. It's a Cloudliner passengers only. This one is in Beijing. there are no more bucks. There's London. And there's some Paris to load. Good. So we've got 8, but we need a lot more. Okay. Manila. There's some bucks. Don't bother. I'm not going to bother with these ones, but remember when I showed you that value, they were 30,000 per buck, so they're actually worthwhile. But at this stage, I'm not doing that. Let's load up with London. Paris. We're still not fully loaded, so we'll move on. CLM02. Right, SIM02. We've got a 3. London. We're fully loaded. Okay. Right, so zoom out a little bit. So the first hop here, from here, is as far as we can get. We can get the straightest line between 2 airports. We want to get to Paris in this case, right? So I want to get back to Paris, and that's where a load of the Paris drop-offs are going to happen, and then I'm going to see if I can pick up any more bucks and then passengers to London to do that final hop. They're really, really close together. It costs about 500 coins to make that hop. So this is why we use the 2. We get an interim stage for offload, and then a final stage to to hop over with all the bucks to unload. As I say, you could do this with either just London or Paris, but you have to be cognizant of the fact that if you're only using one of those, then you have to only load up with London or Paris at your outer airport. Okay, so I'm going to jump there. That's now taken off. I forgot where we were. SIM03, I remember. CLP01. I lose my track on this very, very easily. One of the things to do also, make sure you check your calendar every day. This is really worthwhile for the... let's use the cursor here. Very worthwhile for the special plane parts. Likewise, there's 2 of these during a month, so these are definitely worth doing every day. You can get some special plane parts in those. So I make sure I do that every day, and it's worth paying the money or the bucks to actually get those caught up if you've missed the days. Likewise with this spin the wheel, this doesn't always come up very obviously, but if you play your cards right with this, you can get 4 spins out of this, and you can get a special plane. I got my first Concorde from using the spin the wheel, and I've never spent a penny on it, right? So I've done this. I'm not VIP. Although there are possibly advantages to do so, and I'm just play this game for free as a challenge, I suppose. Right. I mean, it's not for free, right? There's advertising involved, and therefore that's how they make their money. Right. If the product is free, then you are the product, right? Okay, CLM02, Manila. So Manila... Are there any bucks to pick up? No, they're not. We've got less than 1 minute. So this is getting borderline, and we have to be a little bit careful if we're doing switching. But there's nothing there. Okay. We might be caught up on this. So you end up looping yourself, and then there aren't any new passengers until the next refresh. I don't do automatic refreshes. What is it, this thing? No. No. There's a thing you can do where you can refresh the jobs. I don't know. I don't do it. That's the point, right? If you play the game properly, then you don't need to do all that nonsense. Right. Okay, London. And where is this one? This one's at Tokyo. Are there? Oh, look, there's bucks. I want that. I want that. I want that. Right, and there's new jobs, right? So that 8 I've unfortunately lost, and I'll tell you. I'll show you. I'll demonstrate it, because as soon as you switch this screen and then switch back, it's gone. All right. So if I went here and then disabled somebody, if I go back to the other screen, it's gone. So you immediately got that. But I got those 2 anyway. Nevertheless, Tokyo is now 5 cargo, 12 passengers. We can now fly back. So I picked up these 5s. That's what, $18, right? And now we're going to fly back to London. Here's a little tip for a fully upgraded. What is this plane? It's a Cloudliner. So for a fully upgraded Cloudliner, even on free to play, that one is not. Beijing. Oh, it's not upgraded. Right, so the reason this plane is white is because it's not upgraded. I'm almost tempted to do that. These are so expensive to upgrade. Right. For a free-to-play player, 3 upgrades is the most you can do. That's the maximum upgrade. I'm not bothered about the spending the bucks there. $73. I'll make that back, not a problem. And the reason for doing that is that this will actually make the run more profitable. So Tokyo jump. If I go to Beijing, then I still can't do it. Why can't I do it? That's not right. Can I go to Xi'an? Yeah, okay. Xi'an. There was another upgrade. I'm going to do the other upgrade. So most of my planes are fully upgraded. Yeah, let's do it. Fully upgraded. Right. Beijing. Tokyo, Beijing. We can make Paris. But we're going to lose 5,451 coins. It doesn't matter. We'll be making that up on the outward journey. Okay, my money still goes up using this technique. My money still goes up. I'm still able to afford planes. It doesn't go up greatly, but it still goes up. So it's cost neutral. And the ultimate aim is to reach that goal of $65,000. We reach $65,000, we're a multi-billionaire. So it really doesn't matter. Okay, we're going to jump to Paris. Fly. And on to the next plane. I can't even remember where we were. CLC. It reset, didn't it? So if you're quick here, all of this becomes like far faster, right? Perhaps I should stop speaking and then just blitz through it. But I'm trying to illustrate the point. This is the technique. We do London, we do Paris, we fill up, we're 17C. We can now jump back to Paris. In fact, has this one got an upgrade? This one's got an upgrade available as well, I think. Upgrade. Yeah. I might be able to make Paris on that jump. The passenger plane and the cargo plane are the only 2 cloudliners that aren't fully upgraded. The rest of these are, right? So if we have a look at one of these and go to upgrade, they're all fully upgraded. They're as far as they can go. They've got 3 upgrades on each of their fuel tank, which is distance, engine, which is the speed, so the amount of time it takes to get there, and carbon fibre is fuel consumption to profit. So by making the plane lighter, it uses less fuel, and each of these upgrades accounts for 5, 10, 15%. They're 5% each, so 3 upgrades is 15%. So fully upgraded carbon fibre, it's 15% less cost, and therefore you make more profit. So you have to decide which one of those you're going to go for in stages, and the Cloudliner is the most expensive of these to upgrade because it's $73 per upgrade per channel. So that's 3 times 3, that's 9 times 73. For those of you that are good at maths, you can work that out. It's a lot. So they're quite expensive to upgrade. But I found that using this strategy, you actually don't need to. You could actually just go via the unlocked airports that you've got. So anyway, we go via this. It just means that you make less profit. So from here, I'm going to go there. I mean, I could go to Tehran and then from here, right? And then it's 7,900 and get off the new jobs thing. 7,938. But if I went to here and then here, that's actually more profitable, or rather less loss in this case. But if I get the distance all the way to there, then it's even better. So what did I say? That was at 7,343. That's the loss. Let's do the upgrade again. I'm losing all my bucks here, but you can see I'm not overly concerned. Not that one. Upgrade. Because once they're upgraded, unless you accidentally click on that again, and then you will downgrade it. So be careful with that as well. Right, we're going to jump to Paris. So 7,180. So I saved from worst case scenario was 7398 to 7180. So I saved myself 200 coins. Not a great deal for that, but anyway, is what it is. Now that plane has got its best distance that it can get. Right, fly. Let's go back to Seoul. So, and okay, we checked the bucks. Nothing there. But now we need London. London and Paris, and we can't pick up any more Paris. But that's 6 of 6, right? So that's ready to fly. Similar thing. This is a cyclone, and they can't make that jump from Beijing to... unless you're a VIP, then they could. You get 4 upgrades as a VIP. But this will do in Istanbul to Paris, and then jump. It's Beijing. I want. I need a cargo, but I can't pick it up. This is a passenger plane only, so I can't pick up the cargo anyway. So in that case, then I can't pick that. I'm just going to go for Paris and London. Paris and London pickups. Did I miss London? Oh yeah, there's no more for that. Okay. Manila. Lots to pick up. There's a 7, which is documents. So here I'm going to drop one of my cargo and pick up the documents. Remember that 7 times 30,000 now. I think that's quite a lot, isn't it? Yeah. 210,000 coins it's worth roughly. So that's pretty good as an end game. Right, okay, that's that. London, Paris, we're full. Now, from Manila, probably go via Tehran to Paris. We did Beijing, didn't we? That was a passenger plane. So I lose track of where I am. My naming convention helps me work out which plane has landed. So it comes up with this plane has landed. I know what type of plane has landed. That's what that's for. Otherwise, it just default names them PL and then a counter. But I come up with this like 3-letter abbreviation for the type of plane, and then two digits for the number of planes that are in that designation. And of course, this will be a Cyclone M, CYM, and it's the 14th of those that I've acquired. Okay, right. So Chicago, Bucks. There's a couple to pick up there. Can't pick up any more people, so I need to ditch a person. Pick up that person, and I'm fully loaded. So I'm going back to Paris, and you can see, because of the distances these can reach and the fact that London is in the centre of the map, it's only never more than 2 hops away from the centre of the map. So, I did Beijing, didn't I? That hasn't reset. Shanghai. Less than 1 minute to go. Right. Tokyo. London. Paris. Using this strategy, I will make around about $1,000 per session. So a good session in an evening, which means that 65,000 is going to take you 2 months roughly, and get more at the weekend. Depends on how much you play the game. 2 months to get from nothing to the maximum amount of bucks that you can actually trade in. I will be looking to trade. I mean, I'll be looking to complete this. What am I at? 59,000. I'll be looking to get the 65,000 within the next 5 days maximum. Okay. Check the. Oh, this is at London, right? So we're looking for our full load up here. So this is loaded for Karachi, and because we've laid over some more another bucks to Karachi. Its bucks value is now going up. I mean, what have we got here? 6, 9, 14 bucks loaded presently for Karachi. So that's not bad. That was, what was that? Was that Sim 16? I think it was, wasn't it? Sim 16. Yes. Right, next one. Sim 15. And that will be loaded for Lima. Made a full load. Now, of course, here we go. If I just take one off, you'll see what I mean. So that's 6. That's 6 there for Alma Green. Will go up to 8. So we immediately make a 25% increase, right? And as I say, for the lower ones, like ones, for example, a 1 will go up to $2. So that's actually a 50% increase. So the ones are still valuable, but I think they're more valuable at the lower end. And as I say, like we've still got 31 layovers here of 60. If I had the VIP, that would be 120 layovers. You would probably want to do that. You'd want to make sure that you pick up all those up. But then that makes your coin value for your flight less profitable. So this actually, I think, is, yeah, for me, is around about the sweet spot. Okay, this is London going to Lima, which is, look at that, strangely, it's one hop. Okay, I'm going to make 1,500 profits. So I'm going to make some coins profit, but I'm also going to make what was it? Just look at those. 5, 7. That's 12. Plus 8 is 20. 25 bucks on that one flight. Right. Okay. 1 minute remaining. We did see it. 16. We did 15. We're on Sim 11. Focus up. I don't want to go too fast. If I go too fast, you can't see what's going on. This is another one loading from London. So I'm hoping that my explanation is actually hitting the point, right? So Tehran, 25% extra. It's very, very close. There aren't that many, but I'm still making 4, 3, 3. So that's $10 for that single flight. That's another reason to keep the values up. So it means that every slot has a value, if you like. And if you've only got a small number of slots on your plane, then you want each slot to be as profitable as possible. So even for this small flight, I will make a profit and make a decent amount of bucks. Right, Sim 17. Sim 17 has got a 4-4 load at the moment, and that is going to Mexico City. There we go, fully loaded. That's going to make 9 plus 5, that's 14. Plus another 5 is 19. 19 bucks for that flight. To Mexico. And strangely, look at that. It's within the radius of the plane. Okay, Sim 01. Sim 01. It was just an epiphany that I worked out. I'm hang on a minute. All this starts to fit together. Because I've been running left to right. I've been running from Honolulu to Sydney and Melbourne for ages. In fact, that's actually covered in my stats. What plane are we on? We're on Sim 01. So that's covered in my stats. If you look at this, my busiest city was Los Angeles, and my busiest region was North America. And that's because the way the map works is that the concentration of different airports actually in Asia, in the east, but the furthest Class 3 airport is Los Angeles, possible exception being Mexico City, all the way to the west, right? So Los Angeles, everything was funneling into Los Angeles, basically, and sometimes into New Mexico. Right, where was I? Sim 01. Sim 01 is in London. It's got a 4-on-1. It's going to Bangkok. It's nowhere near full. But it's already got 4, 7, that's 11, 17 bucks loaded. So looking nice and profitable. Simo 1, that was. CLM06. Tokyo. It'll take a while to load that one. Simo6 is in Tokyo and it's coming back. Right, so 4-3. Oh, no, yes. We want all 3 of those. Take that first. And then we need to drop 2 cargo. Pick those up. Go to London and Paris. We're fully loaded and off we jolly well. So I'm going to jump to Tehran and then across to Paris. Okay. CLMO 1? I'm not sure. Simo 5. Simo 5 is in Lagos. That's got 1 loaded on it. Okay. It's on its journey back by the looks of it. It's landed. So it's on its journey back. We need to get the London and Paris load out. London. Paris. Not full. And on to Jakarta CLM01. So similarly, there's a 4. We get London, Paris, long way off being full. CLM01, CLM08 in Sao Paulo. Sao Paulo. 7, nice. 5, yes, please. And then we need some cargo. Can't get any more Londons. No more Paris for the moment. Okay, we'll come back to it later. Istanbul. We want Jordan, if we can get them on. So we'll have to drop a passenger. Load that. And get London. And we can't load any more, so on to the next plane. Paris. So here's a plane, landed at Paris. It's come back. These are all the people we've got. What we're interested in is whether or not there are any more bucks we can load. There's no point in switching anybody else in. And then any Londons. And then make that final hop. That is really the strategy. And as I say, using this strategy, I've been able to get up to, so far, 59,000 bucks with a total monetary value of 1.77 billion. So even just whatever I did there, actually I spent a load of money, didn't I? So that's actually gone down. But you'll find this is going to go up pretty quickly. As I say, I can net about $1,000 per day easily, or not per day, per session that I play the game. Yes. I don't think we need to do any more than that. That really demonstrates it. Thank you very much for taking the time to watch the video. And hopefully I will come back again when I'm just about to do the hand-in. We'll see. All right. But good luck with Pocket Planes. I like this game. I think it's really quite cool. And thank you for taking the time to watch the video. Take care. Bye-bye.